Hello everyone, welcome to Peach on Earth Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for the sign of Virgo. You can have Virgo anywhere in your chart. You can be a cross watcher. All that I ask is that if you are here watching this reading, that you come with good intentions for yourself and for others. Hey you guys, I was called to get you guys a song, and the song that I got for you is pretty interesting. It's called In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3. And that is by a band called Coheed and Cambria. It's also the title song of the album. Now it's interesting because the song and the album have the number 3 in them, and when I finished that statement, it was 33 on the clock here. There's been a lot of threes, and actually when I was listening to the song, my battery was at 33%, and then the time was like 6:33 or something. So it's like threes, lots of threes here going on. But anyway, so if you don't know who Coheed and Cambria is, they are a band, and it's not like, a lot of bands or singers, they have concept albums. Well, Coheed and Cambria, like, their whole discography is concept. It is a one giant story. And they also have like comic books and stuff to go along with their albums and whatnot. Very, very epic story. It's like a space opera. And so the song is about war. It's about young people going into battle blindly. It's like blind patriotism, and because that's what the people before them did, and they want to lay with the people, their ancestors and loved ones who have passed in battle. They want to lay with them when they pass in battle, and it's like just very, very like blind patriotism, willing to do and kill or whatever. And so I do want to say trigger warning, because as I was kind of like listening to the song, I was getting messages of PTSD, especially like military related. So if that is you, like, if you do not want to listen to this, please do not. I know that PTSD is a very, very serious thing, and so I'm not looking to hurt anyone, but it did come up, and I want to say that. So I don't know if I'll speak of it again, but if you do have if you've been diagnosed with PTSD, especially military related, this message could be for you. That could just be a confirmation. It might come up again. I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. And I'm starting with the Law of Attraction cards by Esther and Jerry Hicks. So let's get one or two cards for Virgo, please, for May. One or two cards for Virgo for May, please. One or two cards for Virgo, please, for May. One or two cards, please, for Virgo. Okay. Now, I really like so here we have, I'm not in competition for my well-being. Now, this is interesting because just last night was the super full pink moon, which was on April 26, 2021, and that was last night. And now we have this, like, even though it's not actually like a pink moon, it just means like it's just the name of the moon, but this moon is pink, and it is very, very close to this planet or whatever. And so I'm getting that like full pink moon. Whatever it was that was going on for you on the April 26th might be relevant here. Or we're still in that full moon energy, so it's like you could be maybe releasing some things. And it's interesting because it's like, it's almost like a winding path, even though it's like the bottom of these hills here, but it's almost like you would have to go like that if you didn't want to like climb over the hills. But anyway, and on the bottom we have, my inner being guides me through my emotions. And it's like that path, like that curved path that I'm talking about here. And so it's almost like it will guide you home. What's the lyrics of that song? It's like, we're coming home. Hang on a second. Hang on just a second. You'll be better off when you get home. We're coming home. So since I was saying, to me, when I'm repeating that back, it's almost like we're coming home, and they're almost talking to, because in the song they're also talking about like being at the cemetery where all these people are buried. So it's almost like it's like that war. Now this can also be like metaphorical war, right? Like our war within ourselves. But it's like there's a war going on, and then there's this like twisting, winding, turning path that we have to go through in order to get home. And it's almost like with the home, like when the soldiers in the song are saying we're coming home, they're talking about like their graves. They're talking about like dying in war. And that's what they mean by we're coming home, like they're coming home to be buried with their ancestors. So what I'm getting is like there's like a death process here that you're going on, and it's like twisting and turning and twisting and turning, and you could be in a very like emotional time right now. If this is the case, and if you're feeling any like slightly triggered by this, or even like more triggered, please like seek counsel. This isn't counsel. Tarot isn't counsel. You need to actually talk to a professional, okay? But with that death process, it's like letting whatever it is that is holding us back to die and be reborn, right? But I love the imagery of this, because I feel like, this is like at the end of this winding, twisting road is this little home. And it's just like your place on earth, right? Now, the death process is metaphorical. I'm not talking about literal death. I'm talking about metaphorically, something within you needs to be laid to rest in order for you to feel at home and safe in this world. And you know what I love too is like, so it has like smoke coming up out of the chimney, but it almost looks like a waterfall. Like there's water pouring down into this home. And if the home is like bright red, do you see that? And it's almost like it's an ember. It's burning hot. And I feel like that's kind of how you look at like it's almost like the light at the end of the tunnel. You almost look at it as like it's too hot to handle. It's too much, okay? But then the universe is coming in, and it's pouring all of this water onto it so it can cool it down, so it can be touched. So it's, and that could even be like you might have all these walls up. So it's like people can't touch you, because it's like if they were, they would get burned, right? So you burn people. But there's something coming in to kind of put that out, to put down, like lower your defenses. Well, yeah, especially because full moons represent release as well. So there's something that's needing to be released for you. You need to release something that's making you feel like that ember, right? That's like just too hot for anyone else to handle. It's too hot for you to handle, but you do it because it's what you know. Now, yeah. Okay. All right, we're going to use the vice versa tarot to get your message here, okay? What is the message for Virgo, please, for May? What's the message for Virgo for May? What's the message for Virgo? Yeah, I'm not surprised. Okay. So we have the Nine of Swords. Now this, on the Vice Versa Tarot, there's two sides to each card. And so it says in the book, like, this side and that side. This side is like typically the front, and then that side is typically the back. So you got that side. And so the Nine of Swords typically means like anxiety, fear. And that's very much the energy that I've been getting from this whole reading so far. And what's interesting about this side of the Nine of Swords, you know, is this figure in the corner, and it's almost like there's something like outside of you that's trapping you, and that is a very, very much like a PTSD type of thing, where there's like fear that is caging you in and you just can't see a way out of it. And what's interesting is I'm looking at this window, and it's almost like trapped inside that like burning house that is just like a burning ember, right? But an ember, it's already been on fire. It's about to go out, especially with water pouring on it, right? It's about to go out. So that's hopeful, especially because after the Nine of Swords is the Ten of Swords, and Ten of Swords is about ending cycles. So there's something that is trapping you inside this like burning house. I feel like that's what it probably feels like when your anxiety flares up. It's like you feel like you're trapped inside a burning house and you can't get out. Like there's a cage around you, around the window, like you can't get out. And so but it's also really helpful because we have Temperance on the bottom, and Temperance is, it's pouring water on the fire. This is a very Temperance energy to me, that especially because I see this as water, not smoke. There's water being poured on the fire, and water represents like emotions and emotional healing, and that's what I feel is about to happen. It's like you're finally coming up on an ending of this cycle here, and you're going to be moving to healing. Let's see, I think I want to keep going with the Vice Versa. Yeah. Okay, what else for Virgo, please? For May, Virgo, May. That's like what's being released here, is this anxiety and this cage that you have around yourself. Okay, what's the rest of the message for Virgo, please? For May. What's the rest of the message for Virgo? Yes, I love this. Okay. So you have Judgment. Or not Judgment, I'm sorry, Justice. See this sword right here? It makes the 10th sword. It makes it like, so the 10 of Swords is, you know, it's like all of the wounding has killed us, right? Like, because the person in the 10 of Swords, let me see if I can find it. The person in the 10 of Swords is usually lying on the ground, and they have 10 swords sticking in their back. And so it's like, it's the last step before the healing, because it's like that death process. You have the metaphorical death process. You have to let it die in order to be reborn. So whatever this is that's hurting you and holding you back is coming to an end. It really is coming to an end. Where's the 10 of Swords? Okay. Look, this person even has armor on, and that's that whole war, like, patriotism thing. Even though they have on all that armor, they still got stabbed. So it's like, and that's not just about like if you've ever been in war before. This is also about like you having your walls up, you being inside this burning house so no one can touch you. All your walls are up. You think that you're protected, but they still penetrate you. Like the wounding, the trauma still penetrates you. But you know what I'm saying? And on the other side, it shows the person that did the stabbing. It's that shadow. Do you see that? There's like people looking over the person trapped and the person, like, because this is the trapped person. And they still got stabbed anyway because they're trapped inside the house with you. You might be in like a toxic relationship. I don't know. You don't have to be, but like I'm just getting that very much, or not very much, but just like as a side note, because it's like you're trapped in a house with someone that's hurting you. But justice is coming. If that's true, if you are like in a relationship with someone that causes a lot of anxiety and stress and like flare-ups of, if you do have PTSD, it causes flare-ups and stuff. You could be getting divorced from this person or like separating from them, just because we do have the justice card, and that is like the legal system too. But it's like and that's also like an end of a cycle, because like I was saying, this is the 10th sword. This is the 10th sword that finally ends the cycle, that finally brings you justice. So I kind of want to see what's on the other side of the scale, because do you see, like, she has scales here and the sword is on this side to add to the 9 of swords to make it 10 of swords, and I want to see what's on this side, like what's balancing out. Can I have one more card for the other side of the justice card here? What's on the other side of the scales for Virgo here? Okay. So we have the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is about like, the High Priestess has all the answers, but you can only be shown the answers if you're ready. So it can seem very mysterious unless like you do the healing. So I feel like that's truly what's happening, is like once you heal whatever it is that's keeping you trapped in this burning house, you become like enlightened. Yeah. I guess I'm going to tell a really personal story, because we do have the 3 of Swords here on the bottom. The 3 of Swords is about heartbreak. So, you could be worried about breaking someone's heart, but you could also be worried about your heart being broken. If you're like needing to leave a relationship, I'm going to tell you something. It's pretty personal. So when I began, well, not when I began my spiritual journey, I started and stopped my spiritual journey several times because I was in a very, it was a toxic relationship, but I was not aware that it was toxic. I was very, very blind. But anyway, it's kind of like this person has a blindfold on, right? Like, and you're trapped and you don't know, it's like, it's a shadowy figure, so you might not even know, like, there's something there, but you can't put your finger on it. And so like I was in this relationship, and as soon as I started doing the work, as soon as I started on my spiritual journey, that relationship ended, because I started seeing the red flags. I started seeing my worth. I started setting boundaries, and they weren't okay with that. They weren't okay with it, and so it ended. And so it's kind of like there might, on the other side of this hurt and pain, when the cycle closes, it's like your spirituality, your truth opens up. That is literally what's on the other side here. Okay, I want to see what your truth is. We're going to look at this High Priestess with the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. So let's look at the High Priestess here for Virgo. Can we look at the High Priestess, please? What is this High Priestess for Virgo? And of course, it's going to be like different for everyone, but this will just be a little clarifier. Clarify this High Priestess for Virgo, please. Let's clarify the High Priestess for Virgo. High Priestess for Virgo. Can I have 1 or 2 cards for the High Priestess, please? Okay. Okay, this is good. So we have the 7 of Wheels, which is like 7 of Pentacles. And then it's interesting because the 5 of Pentacles is on the bottom and there's a fire. They had to like light their pentacles on fire in order to keep warm. Now the 5 of Pentacles is usually like, it represents like being left out in the cold. And I feel like at first when this is all going on, like you might start like setting these boundaries and maybe this person's like ends things, even though you might know it's the right thing, but this person like puts the final sword into it, right? They're that person that was lurking. They put the final sword into your armor, okay? Because you started setting boundaries and it wasn't okay with them, so they put that final sword in. They decided to take, like they wanted control over the situation, so they ended it before you could end it, before you realized just how toxic they were, okay? So then here you are and you're feeling left out in the cold and you're feeling probably a little, it's like that you have 10 swords stabbed into you, right? You feel a little wounded. But with the 7 of Pentacles, you start taking stock of what it is that you can carry forward with you. The 7 of Pentacles, like the most like generic meaning of it is like taking assessment, like assessing your situation, okay? So you're out in the cold, you feel left out in the cold, but you look and you take stock of your life and you say, what can I carry forward and what can I not carry forward? What is the best plan of action? And I feel like that's kind of what you're doing, is like you're kind of like hitting the ground running, because you might not have any other options. I feel like maybe this person had like financial control over your life, and so once they're out of the picture, you have to kind of like take up, like you have to figure out a way to survive financially in this world. And I think you're succeeding at that. You're learning how to do it. And it's interesting because this person has like, I don't know if you can see it, but they have like little seeds falling out of their hand. And it looks like, you know, they should be planting them, but the crows are eating it. But they are aware, like you're aware. But crows represent, and there's 3 crows. 3 was coming up a lot earlier. But anyway, crows represent spiritual messengers. Like it can be guides or ancestors. And so it's almost like you feed them, they feed you. You go on your spiritual path, they feed you. It's a mutually exclusive benefit. Like, and you understand that because you're dropping the seeds for them. Because you understand that you don't, I'm so sorry about the excess noise. I thought they were done mowing, but they're not, obviously. I'm so sorry. I hope you could hear me through all that. But anyway, it's like you have planted, what was I going to say? Oh, you understand that it's important for you to plant things in the material world and in the spiritual world. And that's kind of what the High Priestess is. It's like you understand what's going on, but then you also know that you have to bring it down into the world. And that is kind of what you're doing here with the 7 of Pentacles. You're feeding your spirituality, and you understand that you have to kind of hit the ground running. Okay? Now, we're going to get a crystal for you guys from the... I'm so sorry about the sound. Hang on, I'm going to pause it for a minute until it goes away. Okay, I think they're done. They're at least on the other side of the building. So, okay, we're going to pull advice for you with the Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle. And so, yeah. So, can I have a message regarding this reading as advice for Virgo for May, please, regarding this reading? Advice for Virgo. Can I have one card as advice for Virgo, please? One card as advice for Virgo. One card. Okay. Look, it's the number 3. Mukite Jasper, I think. I don't know if that's necessarily pronounced right, but Mukite? Yeah, Mukite Jasper is what I'm going to go with. Okay. The dream time. That's interesting. Now, because the High Priestess, that's, maybe something about astral projection or lucid dreaming or something could be important in order for this, like, healing, to figure out, like, your next steps and stuff. Like, your path, right? You're on your path. You know what they just told me? Because there's a person here, and I was saying it's like this. You could also be walking away from this burning house. Like, this could be you, like, kind of walking away and releasing it. Because it does look almost like, I don't know, and I don't normally get this, but it almost looks like a little, I don't want to say that word, but it's almost like demonic. You know what I mean? And, like, there's like a shadowy figure, and maybe you have night terrors, or what are those called? Sleep paralysis. You could have sleep paralysis. Huh. But anyway, yeah, I was getting that it could be like walking away from as well. But anyway, Mukite Jasper balances inner and outer experiences. What were we saying about spiritual and physical? Inner and outer. So this balances, this, like, brings the 7 of Pentacles, like, it's like, makes it equal. It encourages versatility and openness with new experiences, helping you choose the right path. How crazy is that? Openness to new experiences and helping you choose the right path. And that is because something is closing. There's a toxic, very, like, scary kind of feeling cycle that is ending here for you, that you are healing and you're learning how to go out into the world on your own and, like, healed. Okay. Let's see here. A powerful being, you have roots that go far back into the past. Now, even with that song, The Roots, how it was talking about, like, the ancestors, they want to be buried where their ancestors were buried and fight the same fight that their ancestors fought. It's like you have these roots. And so this could also be like some ancestral wounding too. Like, maybe you have fears like you can't really explain. And they're probably ancestral. If you have fears you can't explain, they are probably ancestral, and you are healing them, and you're ending the cycle here. What you dreamed, you created. Reap rewards or rectify imbalances. Turn failure into a learning experience and start again. So you might look at this ending as a failure, but it's not. I promise you that it is not a failure. Like, with my own personal example about how it was my divorce. Like, most people would look at divorce as a failure, but it definitely was not a failure because it needed to happen. Okay. Let's see here. Remember to offer friendship to assist others who tread the same path. Your instinctive wisdom inspires them. So it's like, maybe this path, like, you're going to meet people along this pathway and you're going to be able to inspire them. And you might be in a position right now where you feel like there's no way I could ever guide anyone else. I can barely guide myself. but just learning how to get through the situation will help you help others. Like, just like how my example, when I was going through my divorce, I never thought that my divorce would play out in a way in which I can share that experience with others and hopefully help others. Okay? So it's like painful things teach us things that we can then teach to others, you know? So maybe they don't have to have the actual physical experience of those trials and tribulations, and if they do, you can help them through it. Okay. Let's see here. Check your diet, put your skills to use vigorously. Adventurous times lie ahead. Worry not, you are protected against deceit and enemies. Those are your guides. You are like highly protected here. Recognize your strengths. And it's almost like if there is like something that was really toxic and it's coming to an end, it, like I was saying, it might not feel like it's a good thing, but it's your guide's way of like protecting you. Like that final sword is, it's almost like even though that other person is putting the final sword into you, it's like spirit almost like made them put the sword in because they knew that you had to move on. Interesting. Let's see here. Reject unrealistic ideas, avoid pride and despair. You have stamina, that's 7 of Pentacles. Wait patiently. If 2 courses of action are open, go for the straightforward one. A professional challenge, such as a job, interview, or presentation, is successful. Yes, it is. Let's see here. Healing insight. You are what you eat. Good nutrition with wholesome organic foods. And I feel like that's a very 7 of Pentacles thing too, because he, like, there's, it's like you are planting your future here. And you're making sure that it's of the utmost health and like you're like pouring positivity into it, even though you might not even know that. By tapping into your spirituality, your spirit team is at least pouring positivity into your daily actions that you are doing right now, that you are going through. This is a Leo energy and drawing on ancestral wisdom. So you can have like 3 passed on loved ones that are your ancestors guiding you, or it can be guides, or a combination of both. So yeah, I definitely think like astral or lucid dreaming work will definitely help you right now. And like they were saying, like a clean environment inside and out might help too. Okay, Virgo, this has been your message. I hope it was helpful. If it was, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. I thank any of you for being present today, any of your guides that are present, any of my guides that are present. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.